Hey everybody, this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And I'm Nick, your host, and you're now listening to Track Talk Radio. And for those not familiar with this is a listening experience over a visual experience. But for the single image that we have here, we're talking about Briana Williams and Kemba Nelson, two athletes that have a somewhat similar profile in the sense that they both have quick starts and they could potentially have a better finish along the lines, down the line. But both of them have very good starts. For now, Briana Williams has a better start than Kemba Nelson, as we saw at the Jamaican trials. You can see them at different head-to-heads and everything like that at different periods of time in the future. And I am sure that we will see Briana Williams have a better start than Kemba Nelson. But joining Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's camp, Kemba Nelson will have a huge advantage here. Now, other than that, they don't have the same running style. They don't have the same acceleration phase or anything like that. But I wanted to compare them there for this. So on the left, you see one Olympic relay gold medal, right? And then on the right, that's World Athletics Championships. That's why you see WAC. One-time relay silver for Kemba Nelson. Now, there's been a lot of hoopla about this, and that happens with anything. There are people that were angry about the USA men messing up the relay, saying that just because they did that, the entire championship goes in the garbage and everything like that. So, hey, to each their own. Now, I'm going to avoid that because that's what people are going to do no matter what. So, what are we looking at here? Well, for the years to come, we're going to be seeing Nelson and Williams fight for a spot to even get on the team. So that means their primary thing is they're going to be fighting for a relay final spot, fighting for that fourth place. Because unless somebody messes up at the Jamaican trials, then, and obviously Shelly-Ann has yet another bye in the 100. So unless somebody messes up at the Jamaican trials here, then they're not going to be in the open 100. So at this point, it's more so looking like they're going to be battling it out for the relay final spot. And the relay final spot is most likely going to go to the fourth place runner than it is for maybe a selection committee to say, you know what, maybe we have this runner because they just happen to be bad, but they're going to be better on the relay. Now, who's better on the relay? I'm going to lop it up to this. Okay, last year, Briana Williams took out on the start, and she was the first one to hand off, other than Elaine Thompson-Herah actually going out too fast. But it was clear that she was quicker than everybody else at the start, other than Elaine Thompson-Herah taking off too quickly. Now, this year, Elaine Thompson-Herah still took off a little bit too quickly. It wasn't as much of a huge jump than it was on Williams. And so when you're looking at this with Nelson, she handed off second. Elaine got Jamaica back in the lead. Then Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce fell to second again. And then that's when Shericka Jackson tried to catch Team Jamaica back up. So people are really blaming Kemba Nelson for it. But if you really look at that curve, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce actually fell to second. That's not even including the botched exchange, because the exchange between Elaine and Shelly-Ann was actually a pretty good exchange, not perfect, but good exchange. And then the one between Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, before she even got to the exchange, she was already in second. So we have to look at it in that aspect. Now, who's better between the two? I can't rightly say. Here. But what I can say is that not only will they be fighting for the spots here, but when Briana Liston, the twins, when they start to run at this level in Liston next year, when they start to run at a higher level instead of at the U20 level, we're going to see even more of a competition. That's what this video is about. This video is about pointing out that Jamaica is now going to be like Team USA has been over many decades. When you have so many women, I'm going to focus on the women. When you have so many women that your best female athlete or your second best female athlete could actually be left home or relegated to relay duty just because of whatever happens in the trials. That could be they had a bad start. They could be maybe having a false start. That's what happens when you don't have necessarily selection committees selecting people to go there, and you have it where it's the top 3 go, and then after that, because this has happened to Team USA a lot, not all the time, but many times, where we have some of our best athletes are knocked out in the rounds or in the final round of USA, and then they say, oh, they can't reproduce these. When you start to have more than just 1, 2, or 3 good, great, above average or fantastic athletes, because over the years we can be rating Team USA in any of those categories. But if you have more than 1, 2, or 3 of them, you're going to have somebody left at home, and it's probably going to be one of your best ones. Imagine if Elaine Thompson-Herah was left at home instead, and then either Kemba or Briana went to that round. Do you think that Team Jamaica would have gotten a sweep in the 100? Now, do you think that that would have allowed Elaine Thompson-Herah to actually get a medal in the 200 if she got left off of the team in the 100, but she made the 200? You see, that might have changed a couple of things. It might not have allowed Team Jamaica to get the sweep, because remember, Elaine did say that she just felt like walking away, and she only did it because she had to. She had to. But at that point, she was like, man, it threw off everybody. Now, imagine if Team Jamaica didn't have to restart the race 3 times and have to somewhat start it an extra 2, where they called everybody out to line up, and then it seemed like the speakers didn't work, so they didn't even do anything. So that was one, and then some other malfunction happened, and so that was another one. So they had a literal restart 3 times, or literally had to start 3, and then 5 starts, and they were out there for about an extra almost 10 minutes. That's messing up people's warm-up. That's messing up people's race focus. Briana Williams might not have crashed out so hard at the end. Who knows if she would have even started that hard. It's so many different factors that come at play. This has happened with Team USA. So when people criticize other countries, particularly the United States is rather deep. Whether it's deep enough to beat Team Jamaica in some years, that's irrelevant, because at the end of the day, people making the finals, people making the world championship team are part of the elite. You only have a very small amount of people that make it. And on any given day, like in that women's 200 in Team USA, the women's 200 for Team USA was so stacked with people with similar times, people coming out, that it was almost like a crapshoot of who would actually make it. Gabby Thomas, unfortunately here. Oh my goodness, this rabbit. Hold on, guys. And I am not going to edit that part out. I'm going to leave it in. But unfortunately, there are people that get left. Gabby Thomas got an injury beforehand. Just like Dina Asher-Smith saying that she's pulling out of the Commonwealth from a slight hamstring tear or strain or whatever that was, where it's like she can continue the rest of the season but not necessarily go to Commonwealth because it's right after the World Championships. Sometimes things like that happen. Gabby Thomas was still able to go sub 22 after losing out on that training. That just shows what she can do. She can't even break 11 seconds. That's a very, very talented athlete. She's very, very strong with her speed endurance. Can't break 11 seconds, yet she went 21-6, sub 21-7. That's not just a little under 22. That's a major hack off of 22. So looking back at here, what happens if Briana Liston knocks out another athlete? What happens if the twins come up and they do well? I'm convinced that Briana Williams is a great runner when it comes to the championships. But now we're going to see how she's going to face the twins directly pretty soon. Now we're going to see how she's going to face Liston directly pretty soon. Now we're going to see how Nelson is going to face them. Because remember, last year, Nelson didn't make the team. She could not make the team. This year, she did. At this point, now we have to ask, what's next? Well, what's next really is, I think this brings attention that Jamaica really needs to work on relays. At this point, everybody's looking at it. Well, I can't say even the athletes. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe they're looking at it individually, but that's up to the Jamaican Athletics Association and everything. The association has to get serious about it, because if I'm not mistaken, this is either the 4th or 5th time. Putting it on the athletes, that's one thing. I guess they could take time out of their schedule and say, hey, look, we know we're the ones that are going to be here, so let's just practice this leading up to it. Well, that's putting a lot on the athletes to kind of voluntarily sacrifice some of their time, some of their own training to do it, when you could just set up events like that. I remember listening to Coach Francis where he is setting up. He has 2 meets that he sets up. What is that, the Velocity Series or something like that? Or maybe he said it was another one. But there were 2 meets he set up. It was no money that was involved, but it's out there to get the athletes competition. The Jamaican Athletic Association could set up some meets where the athletes come out and incentivize them in some way where it's a competition. They have it where it's, what is that, hurdle mechanic, and then you got the USA All-Stars or something like that. You got the different camps that come out and they're doing their different relays. They're doing different squads. So if they're going to these relay camps, just like I think Trayvon Bromell, he didn't go to a relay camps or anything like that, so he wasn't on the 4x1. It didn't necessarily seem, like it affected Team USA that much, because they didn't get a gold. But at the same time, as in positively for the people that were there, but at the same time, it could have been a bumble up. Somebody could have dropped the baton again. Somebody could have been out of the zone again. So for Team USA coming here from the last championships, they got gold to silver here. I guess it's not the worst thing. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below. What do you think about Briana Williams' chances of going forward, of even making a relay squad? Or even when Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and eventually Shericka Jackson, because they're all older than Nelson and Williams, right? Older than both of them. And Williams is the youngest of the two, of the bunch that we mentioned here, other than, Liston and all of them. So if we're looking at it like this, even when they retire, will it still be hard for Nelson and Williams to qualify when we got the twins coming up and Liston? Liston seems to be a monster when it comes to the 200 at the very least. So as it stands now, Jamaica's going to have to work hard to get some 200-meter athletes to come up. But there's always going to be some talent that comes up, right? No, not necessarily. But if there is going to be some talent that comes up to replace the top athletes right now, who do you think it's going to be? Is it somebody we already see now, that we already notice, of anybody that I just listed? Or do you think it's going to be somebody lesser known? Is it going to be Coach Francis playing his magic on somebody that they are in the mid-tier? They're not the top athlete. They're above average, right? Like he said, he's not a magical fairy or something. He could take somebody. He said he couldn't take like a man going like 11-6 to a sub 10, but he could take the 11-6 guy and get him to like 10-4, 10-3 or something like that. He can take his time down, but he's not going to be unrealistic. Like, and say, oh yeah, you could go sub 10. Matter of fact, you can go 9-6. We can get you there. No, he's not doing that. So athletes come to him of all different levels, or he works with them at different levels, and they have their own goals. And he has his own realism with that. Is it going to be somebody like that, where the coaches, or maybe Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's group, or another group? Because she pointed out, and she's really marketing for it. She's like, look, you don't have to be in just one or the other group. we all came from different groups and we all came here and medaled. That's what she was advertising. So what do you guys think about that? Leave it in the comment section below. And if you like the Track Talk Radio, I'll do it more often. I think we're going to start playing these at sometime in the AM, maybe 6, 7, or 8 o'clock in the morning. And we might do that. Either that or I'll play around about having them in the evening time. But in any case, you guys let me know what you think. Peace.